The heavy fighter. In Star Citizen, this classification of ship has come to mean large, slow, bulky, brawlers and bulls muscling for position. And for much of Master Modes, it has also meant useless. Ships that used to prowl the skies and rain death, now relegated to being so far out of the meta that they were abandoned by the PvP community in large.
The Hurricane is just simply not winning fights. It's too big, it's too slow, it's not able to mitigate its damage.
Left in dusty corners to be rediscovered by smaller pilots and channels, creators like Ventnir and Alkaline Hawk have done a wonderful job in rediscovering these ships and developing flight styles that can leverage what they have to offer. But the ship in today's video is a bit different. This ship used to rule the skies. In a time before Master Modes, it was a feared predator, so dangerous that many people even believed that the game was in a heavy fighter meta. This ship was the Anvil Hurricane, and has long since been overshadowed by its younger cousin, the RSI Scorpius, because the Scorpius was given the boon of interceptor tuning when Master Mode first dropped, and the stat and speed combinations of the Hurricane in early Master Modes left it a shell of its former glory, a withered and decrepit king. However, in 4.2.1, CIG finally looked back to this old, struggling ship and granted it much needed buffs. In my opinion, most of the community still overlooked it at this point. No one had eyes for the old Hurricane anymore. Newer ships offered the same firepower for less effort. The F7A and Super Hornet have the same weapons package as the Hurricane, thanks to power creep mostly, and many people simply passed it by, myself included. But then ballistic meta arrived in Star Citizen 4.5, and that changed. See, the Hurricane has one core benefit over the Scorpius, Vanguard, and even the Hornets. It is tiny. The Hurricane was designed during a time when fighter was still the key word in heavy fighter. And this thing is barely bigger than a Gladius for all its firepower and strengths. The buffs from 4.2.1 greatly increased how nimble and tanky the ship is. The Cane is faster than a Mark II Super Hornet and has much stronger strafes than any F7, even the A, and more than double the health. And while the Hornets do turn faster, the turret, when manned, more than makes up for that difference, allowing the Hurricane to have infinitely more time on target than the Hornets while being smaller than them. And let me tell you, size is a huge advantage in ballistic meta. In the age where shield strength matters less and less, simply not being hit is the better play. It's why the Arrow currently outclasses the Gladius, and why the Hurricane actually stacks up really well against the Scorpius. The Scorpius, with his wings extended, is huge, and the hitboxes, generous. This thing soaks fire, and even if it is much faster than the Cane, it will take way more damage because it has worse strafes to perform evasive maneuvers, and just a much larger size. In fact, what's even more broken right now is the Hurricane has more health than the Scorpius. All of these changes, ballistic meta, the buffs from 4.2.1, these have revitalized the Hurricane and have made it a force to be reckoned with once again. These things have caught off guard so many players in my time testing it, and a coordinated pilot and gunner can once again create huge force projections to deny airspace to enemy forces. I can't say for sure that it's better than the Scorpius, it probably isn't. I haven't gotten that much seat time in the X-Wing since 4.5 because of limited playtime with a partner, but what I will say is I believe this ship has more than reclaimed its name and former glory. It can't force a fight the same way a Scorpius can, but any that come to challenge it should know that they are fighting a fierce uphill battle. So, let's go into the loadout. For the pilot weaponry, there's really only one option. The size 4 breaknecks are arguably the best ballistic weapons in the game currently. Great projectile velocity, good damage, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition on tap. The only downside is you can't buy them. You need to get them off of a Gray's Market Shiv or from somebody who has one. Still, if you are persistent, you should be able to obtain them, legally or not. For the turret, there's no question. You want the GT220 Mantises. Yes, these are ammunition limited, and not as powerful as the shredders, but you want every ounce of projectile velocity you can get, because your turret is supposed to be your most consistent and steady damage dealer, and because of the top speeds of the Hurricane still leave a bit lacking, you want that bullet speed to maintain DPS and pressure at longer range. The biggest weakness of that means you are ammunition limited on your turret. In our PU fights, we often had to disengage and rearm, meaning we would take control of a site only to then give it back up and come back a few minutes later unsure of what had changed in the battle space. This weakness, however, is more than made up for by its killing efficiency. The Cane shreds fighters, and it can fly circles around large ships incredibly easily. It is shockingly tanky for a ship so small and nimble, and because it has had such a horrible reputation for more than a year, you'll often run into overconfident light fighters diving down on you, only to be torn to shreds by the Hurricane's insane ability to assert pressure. Finally, let's go over components. For shields, you want the FR-76. In case you still run into anyone who's running a laser build or is simply just in a ship where that's not very efficient to run ballistics, those shields will keep you alive longer. But the rest of your components should actually be stealth. This will drop our signatures greatly and assist us in dodging missile spam. So, I put in one Snowblind stealth grade A cooler and leave the other slot empty to free up both an extra pip and also to simply lower our EM values. Next, we're going to be running a single Slipstream stealth grade A power plant. Now you can run two of these if you want that redundancy. In case one goes down, you won't lose your whole ship, but having only one does greatly reduce our values. Finally, we want a Spectre stealth grade A quantum drive. In my opinion, in the current game, the Hurricane might just be one of the most efficient air superiority platforms. It genuinely feels like a force multiplier to crew it. Perhaps if you did have two ace level pilots, they would be genuinely better off in their own fighters. But if you only had one, or if they were only a middling skill level total, you could throw them in a Hurricane and make them a real threat. This thing bullies its respective airspace, and yes, while it doesn't have the chase potential of the Scorpius, the faster time to kill in ballistic meta in the PU shows just how insanely dangerous this ship is. But beyond just the raw stats and the meta talk, what really surprised me about returning to the Hurricane is just how fun it is again. There's this undeniable satisfaction in coordinating with your gunner, lining up passes, and feeling the ship come alive. The Hurricane is insanely fun to fly now, even as a light fighter sweat like I am. When both you and your gunner are in sync, the Cane stops feeling like a heavy fighter and just starts feeling like the king of the skies. It brings back that sense of Star Citizen dogfighting being a team effort, where communication and timing matter just as much as raw skill. And honestly, I think the Cane is something the game has been very low on for a while. A ship that rewards two players working together without feeling clunky or slow or like you're being punished for not flying solo. And that's really the magic of the Hurricane right now. It didn't get some flashy rework or massive PR push. It didn't get the hype train that surrounds the Scorpius or the fanfare of the new Hornet line. It just quietly got better. And in getting better, it found itself in this perfect intersection of size, speed, durability, and firepower that the current ballistic meta rewards more than ever. If you're someone who used to love the Cane and abandoned it, or someone who never really gave it a real chance because of its reputation through early master modes, now is genuinely the best time to pick one up. Pair up with a friend, hop in the cockpit, and give this ship the space it deserves, because whether or not it's the best, it is absolutely back, and honestly, it might just be one of the most underrated ships in the entire game right now. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate a like, and if you want to see more PvP focused ship reviews and meta discussions, consider subscribing to the channel. We are going to be reviewing these ships over and over again as the metas change. I'm trying to keep my content current to the real game right now, and not really focus on what the future value of these ships will be, and more what you can get out of them in the current game. What are your thoughts on multi-crew in Star Citizen right now? Do you like ships like the Scorpius or Hurricane, or do you find them annoying to deal with? Leave me a comment down below, and remember, this has been Citizen Cal, reminding you to stay dangerous out there, pilot.